back. If you are new, thank you for stopping by. If you are a part of the Chameleon family, welcome back. So I don't want to take too long on my intro. I really want to just get right into it and tell you guys a little bit more about me and my story. And hopefully this will bring some insight. This will also bring some inspiration or encouragement when you are on your journey in your story. So my spirituality journey has been a long road, guys, and I find it so interesting that when people meet me, or just the comments I get on my YouTube or my Instagram or whatever the case, that I have this calming energy, I have this positive energy, this loving energy, this unconditional non-judgment energy around myself. And really heavily over the past 2 years, I've always gotten such great compliments on my energy and my spirit, and it literally makes me cry every time I hear that, because I know my story. I know the person that I was, I know the person that I am trying to be, and I know how long it has taken me to even get to this point. So the fact that people always shower me with so many good words about the kind of person I am and the kind of person that the person, like, I guess how much value I add to their life and their situation, it literally brings me to tears, because I have not always been this way. I have not always loved myself and had this positive mindset and had just this overwhelming love and appreciation and gratitude for my space, for this time that I'm here, for anything. And I never had like any high value of myself. And not that I feel like there was always this like feeling or this person inside, but I could just never really let that person come out. I always knew that I had just a different kind of energy, and I was a different person even as a child. But there were a lot of things that happened to me and events that just kind of kept breaking those things down and kind of pushing that person down more. And then that love that I had just was getting erased. Growing up, I lived in a single mother household, me and my brother, and my dad was in my life, not as much as I would have liked, or the ideal family that I would have liked growing up. I did have my dad and my stepmom in one household, and then my mom in another household. And then when I became 13, my stepdad came into my life. So I had 4 parents. But I never felt like I was anything special. I was a very confident kid, but I never felt special, if that makes any sense. So I was very fearless, and I was very funny, and never let anything really bother me until we get into school, right? And then once we get into school, other kids kind of like they make you like, calm down, you ain't all that, kind of thing. And I don't know if it's intimidation, if they see the light you have in yourself and they try to knock that down. Even as adults, people do that. They see who you are, and either they accept that light and they gravitate towards it, or they're jealous of that light. They can't take that light because then it dims who they are, or it reveals who they are, and they don't like it. So that's something that I didn't really understand, why certain people didn't like me, why I didn't get along with certain people, why people teased me. And there were 2 really main issues when I was little, where one, I had an accident. This is something that I've never talked about, and I am I'm going to be getting this thing fixed. So I will be doing a whole separate video on that. So I really don't want to go. My bangs, guys, are getting so long. So sorry if I keep messing around. I literally cannot see you guys. But this is something that I struggled with my entire life. When I was 3 years old, I fell and slipped in the bathtub. And back in the 90s, their tubs were not made of what they're made of now. It was really hard material, and it completely messed up my teeth. And so my teeth have always been a big insecurity of myself and my smile. I was teased a lot, and then I was very, very skinny, so I was also teased a lot for being skinny. And then once I got into high school and I started getting a little bit of acne, then it was just on top of that. So but the two biggest issues were my smile and my weight. And that child that was so fearless and knew who she was just literally just started getting broken down bit by bit. And I was no longer happy with myself. I was no longer seeing that light that I had in myself. And I learned to fake it at a very early age in my life. I learned to still fake and show that light even though I didn't even believe it anymore. And so you know, I've struggled a lot with panic attacks, with depression, with self-harm, all throughout high school. I remember one of the first days of high school, I don't know if it was like 9th or 10th grade, but I literally had a panic attack the first day of school. It was so severe that I lost some of my sight, my vision. I had to be carried to the nurse. It was just really, really bad. And I used to have them so frequently, 9th and 10th grade year especially. I literally would faint. My anxiety and depression was just really, really bad, to the point where it did, and I don't want to trigger anybody watching this video, but it did lead me to self-harm. And I can sit here now and not get emotional about the fact that I used to self-harm, because I have now healed myself from that part of my life. There was only a few people at the time that knew, but now I definitely do share my story, especially with my friends that have younger kids. Sorry if you hear my nephew. It's the day after Christmas. He's having a ball with his stuff. But especially with my friends who have nieces, who have daughters, who have sons, who have nephews, that are in that weird stage of their lives, because it is something that needs to be talked about, especially in the Black community. I don't think that depression, seeing a therapist, anxiety, self-harm, suicide is talked about enough in our community, because they don't want to admit that we need to work on our mental health, and it's okay, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. We all go through things in life, and the more support we have, the more these incidents will not keep happening. So there was a point in my life where I hid it. I wore long sleeve shirts all the time, until some people did started to notice some things, and I had to open up about them. But I am, you know, glad to say that I am now on the whole other side of that. And that's why when you guys pour so much into me, and my friends and family pour so much into me that don't automatically know my story, it's just such a blessing. That is success to me, that that used to be this person, now I show up as this person, and I affect people in this way. And I help people to heal, and hopefully on the road to their own recovery within their spirituality journey. I honestly believe that, you know, I'm a true testament of what mindset and the work, and really diving deep into peeling back those layers and starting to get to the root of your fears, of your insecurities within yourself, because we hold ourselves in these prisons. I always, like I said in the beginning, I always knew who I was, but the more and more other people told me who I was, I started to believe that. And instead of being sure and knowing in myself, I let all of these other influences and incidents that occurred define me. And once I realized that just because something happens to you does not mean that it's who you are. So for example, and this might be extreme, this might be a trigger, I don't want it to affect you in any way, but just because you do drugs don't mean you're a drug addict. Now, it depends on the severity of where you take those drugs. But for me, for example, I drink, but I'm not an alcoholic. And just because I drink does not mean that that defines me or that is who I am. I can stop at any moment in time in my life. So just because, you know, those kids were teasing me, or those men, those relationships that I was in were mentally abusive or emotionally abusive, did not mean that that is who I am and that is where I'm going to stay. So there were a lot of dark moments in my life, and I can literally say that just over these past 2 years of really putting in the work, I feel so at peace. I feel so, I think now I'm starting to get a little emotional. But I do feel like it's just, you cannot explain how it is to be healed and to really just appreciate that light that you have. It is just a feeling that I cannot explain, I cannot put in words. And so I wish now I could I wish now I could go back to that teenage girl and just tell her, like, you will be okay, like, things will get better. Oh my God, things are gonna get better. Like, and so even if you are starting now and I'm 30, you know, if you're starting now, if you're 18, if you're 45, it does not matter. Once you start to heal yourself, it's just something that you won't even be able to explain. It's a feeling. And I really highly encourage you guys, we're winding down this year, to really just take a look at who you are, your mindset, and really get in tune with yourself and start your spirituality journey. Or if you started it and you stopped, pick it back up and really see and peel back those layers so that you can uncover that person that is waiting for you to find them. And you never know where that road is going to take you. Yes, spirituality and, you know, personal development is for self, but in doing so, you could change the whole course of the opportunities, the people that come your way. And I know for me, working on myself has also changed other areas of my life. It has to, right? That's just simple math. Like, once one thing falls into place, it's like a domino effect. It's just everything else starts to just like align with each other. So it's not easy, but it's worth it. And it takes some time, it takes some work. Definitely there is a huge community now here on YouTube that dives into spirituality, that dives into meditation, manifestation, femininity, all of these things that really need to be talked about. And I'm so happy that they're being talked about. Back when I was in and out, like I would say around like 25, this started to appear to me as well, but I didn't really take heed to it like I was supposed to. And so then a few years later, it trickled back into my view again, and this time I actually listened and I actually did the work. So if you are seeing these videos a little bit, if somehow they're on your recommended, pay attention. If somehow somebody in your close circle is talking about something that's related to this kind of subject, pay attention, because it's little signs like this that are trying to help you better yourself and get out of that space that you are in. So I will continue to make these videos. I will continue to share other people that make videos like this. And hopefully we can really be on the road to just being better human beings, not only to other people, but to ourselves first. Because I think that's where it starts. Once we start to like heal, then we can, you know, be a friend, be a mentor, be a sister, be a brother to somebody else. And know that everybody is going through something. Everybody, even the person that you look up to the most, or the prettiest person, or the most successful person, they have a story too. The funny thing is that we always think that our story is our own, and it's not. We are so small in this vast universe that things are bound to be duplicated. So my story is the same story as somebody else's. It might not include the same people, the same events, or even happen the same way, but something is very similar, very spot on. And in that case, you always have something to offer, and to help and to share with somebody else. So I wanted to definitely just get a little bit more personal, tell you guys a little bit more about myself, and hopefully you will understand now why I am the way I am, because my road took me this way. A lot of the things as a child and then as an adult with dating and just all of these things, we all go through them, but when you really put in the work and decide, I want to be on this spiritual journey, and it has nothing to do with religion. I am no longer religious. I was Hebrew for a long time, but now I'm no longer religious. I'm really just spiritual, and I'm not telling you guys that you have to be that way, but you don't. They're not separate, I don't feel like. I mean, they are, but they don't have to be, if that makes sense. Like, you can be spiritual and want to still practice a religion. I think spirituality and just connecting with the universe is something personal. I don't think it has to be attached to any specific religion, if that makes sense. But correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just how I feel about it. So, and I feel like this is better for me. I feel like being in this space is more natural and better for me, and I've seen way more results by living this way and living an authentic life as well, that it has just changed my whole outlook and brought me back to who I knew that I always was. So I don't know if this video was jumbled all over the place. I like really had intentions on it being something, and I hope that it was. And yeah, so I love you guys so much. Definitely more videos spirituality wise, personal development, mindset, life coaching, divine feminine, you name it. All of those videos will definitely continue in 2021, and I am hoping you guys enjoy the last few days of this year and be safe, and I will see you guys in my next upload. Peace.